Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. This is Dr. Sudeep. This video is split into two parts. The first part is about how to approach a job interview or how to approach applying for a job. And the second part is if you've had a job offer in your hand, then what are the points which should be looked into the job offer contract before you actually sign it. So the first thing is, say you are in the process of starting a job application and you want to look for which are the places to apply. So the best place to research is look at online for the company's presence, look at the hospital and the clinic websites, look at the LinkedIn profile of the company, their employees who work there, and try and connect with them. See how's the working culture there, see who are the people who are working there. Maybe you might find some friends or colleagues who have already been working there or have left that company and were working there before. So that's a good place to start. The next thing is to look at your cover letter. Your cover letter should be basically able to sell yourself to the company, like why are you the best person for that job, and look at the job description and tailor your cover letter according to that job description. What are they asking, what are the qualities of the person they're looking for, and include those things. If you have them genuinely, then you include them in your cover letter, so that once the recruiting manager is seeing it, they know that you've done the research, that okay, this was the job description which was given by us and this candidate has written a cover letter which is mentioning those things, and they will ask you questions on that. So don't write something which you are not doing or which you are not. So if those things are resonating with you, or if those things are in your alignment, or if you are that person whom you genuinely feel is doing those things, make sure that you add that in your cover letter, so that they will be the first persons to look at your the cover letter, and they will select you at least for the first round of interviews. So that is the best place to start. So your strengths and skills have to be mentioned in absolute strong details in your cover letter, and then your CV will obviously explore on those things in much more detail. Then if you come to the interview, obviously there will be certain tricky interview questions which you might be asked, like how did you come out of a difficult situation, or where did you make a mistake. So these are things which you have to be prepared of. Think about those things, what were those things which have happened to you, and maybe answer them in a very natural way so that it doesn't look rehearsed. But be prepared for such questions. Most of them will be general questions, but you have to be prepared of some tricky questions as well. About the salary, don't quote your salary directly just before the interview. They will ask you for maybe a range or something, but try to avoid that. Maybe you can keep it at the end of the interview is what you can tell them, because if you give them a range, then they will pick the lower end of the range. If you give them a salary upfront, then they will work around those itself. But if you've already sold yourself on your cover letter and your interview has gone great, then you can maybe at the end tell them a number, a specific number, so that they know that you've researched that particular number well, and they will always try to negotiate around that part only. If you give a range, that's a risky thing, because they catch the lower end of the range most often. Again, on the other hand, I would say don't quote a very absurdly high amount of salary, like 3 times or 4 times of your current salary, because that's unreasonable. Don't quote your financial burdens or your loans or something like that, because you have to focus on what you can deliver to the company, and they will pay you against that. Anything else usually doesn't count as much. Look at the management, look at the attrition rate, like how many people are leaving the company. If there's a company, there are a lot of people who are staying there, say for long periods of time, that means that the company is doing something good and people like working there. So those are the companies maybe you want to be working with as well. Lastly, I would say if the interview doesn't go well, then just be polite. Just say thank you for the opportunity for interviewing, and hopefully there might be an offer later on in the future. But being boastful or being saying that, maybe this company is below my level of skills, or I have got too many other offers, so I don't care even if I don't get this, saying those things very openly and burning the bridges while you leave, that is not a good thing, because in a small community people know each other very well, and who knows, that same company might approach you tomorrow with a higher pay, a higher position. So always be polite and courteous. It's okay if they didn't like you or you didn't like them. Either way, just maybe say a thank you and move on. The next 6 points are, now say if you've got the job offer letter, say you did the interview very well, and then they send you an offer letter. So obviously first thing you will check is your salary. Is it matching to what you've asked them, or is it less, or if it's more, that's good. But if it is less, or if it is the same, then if it's less, then obviously then you have to maybe ask them for some negotiations around that part. Other things maybe you can look at is how's the airfare how's the visa, the airfare, and the health insurance. So usually airfare tickets are given to the employee, and it is usually also given to the family. So make sure if that is included, like your family, your wife and children are included in that. Similar goes for the visa, if it is given for you or is it given for the whole family. And also health insurance, it's very important to have health insurance here. So if it is given for only you or it is given for the whole family. So these are the things that you should be checking for. Apart from the salary, is two other things to be looked at is performance based incentive. Is there a scope for having any performance based incentive? Is it included in it? And how frequently would you be judged on it? So will it be done at the end of your contract? Will it be done yearly? How frequent is the appraisal, like your increase in salary or in general your appraisal of your performance? Is it done annually or is it done by at the end of your contract, say 2 years or 3 years? So this is usually mentioned, but you can always ask them if it is not. Again, common things like your duty shifts, your rota timings, on-call duties, etc. These are usually things which are clearly mentioned. So you should look out that they are mentioned very clearly, and nothing seems too unusual in that is what you have to check. Probation period, notice period, these are the things again you should be looking. Usually probation period will be 6 months. So check what is the notice to be given if you leave in probation period, what is the notice to be given if you leave outside the probation period but within your contract. Is there a penalty for breaking the contract, and what is the penalty? Is it financial or otherwise? So these are the things which are usually spelled out in the contract. Make sure you ask them and make sure it is written somewhere so that you are aware when you do that, that is what you had agreed upon. Lastly, I would say is 4 things which matter before you take up a job. That is the job satisfaction, the money, the stress, and the work-life balance. So think about these 4 things. Most of us usually just take up a job maybe because we want it at that point of time. Either you are having a low paying job, so you're going for a higher salary, or if you have a stressful job, so you're going towards a less stressful job. But these are 4 points I think just sort of summarize everything. Is your job satisfying for you? Are you getting certain sort of pleasure and benefit of working there? Are your skills being utilized to the optimum level? Is there an amount of if money is important for you, is the money good than your previous organization? If the money is more, is the stress also more? Is it going to keep you awake at night and make you more stressful than what you were? Is what something you have to think of. And your work-life balance, do you have time for things apart from your work as well? So these are the things which you should be checking actually, maybe before you say yes. Lastly is, nowadays because interviews are happening online, so you have to make sure that the offer is genuine. So always research about the organization, about their employees on LinkedIn. Maybe send an email to the HR and confirm that this is the offer that you have only sent. You can even contact the Ministry of Labor if you think that something is amiss, or if somebody is asking you money for something. Usually they wouldn't be asking any money or anything like that before you join. So these are the certain things that I think you should be looking for before you start your job and you actually sign that job offer letter. So if there are any more, you can always put them in the comments, and maybe we all can benefit from that. So all the best. Thank you, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.